You're now tuned into the hottest show on air.
So hot.
The Heat 76.1 FM Koza.
Gotta say. She can get a taste.
Okinawa's sex, love, and relationship show with King Takashi, the webmaster. Queen J, DJ M, Abituela, Losa, Will Make It, and A Millie.
This week's sponsor is brought to you by Wing King, an Okinawan favorite for years. Offers American-style cuisine for locals and foreigners alike. The family-style seating is the perfect atmosphere for individual, family, or group dining. They have bilingual staff who speak both English and Japanese. They offer over 10 different sauces that is sure to satisfy almost any taste bud. Their delicious sandwiches offer an assortment of toppings, making it easily customizable to fit your palate. Looking for quick takeout, hosting a party, and need catering? Calling your order at 098-936-8986. Again, I say 098-936-8986. They now offer online ordering and delivery at fmkoza.jp, or you can call 098-943-1605 after 5 p.m. They do not take card, however, they do accept both yen and US dollars only. They hope to see you soon. Peace.
Hey, what's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Queen J, alongside Will Make It, DJ M, King Takashi, Losa, and Abituela. And you're rocking with the Heat.
Hey, Okinawa, what's going on? It's your girl, Jen. I am back on the radio.
Let's go.
Sorry, everybody sees what's really happening behind the scenes.
I know.
But I'm back. I'm back here in Okinawa, and it's great, and I love it.
About time. Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes.
We don't know where Will is. Alondra is sleeping.
Hey,
So-
shout out to the sleepyhead. We love you. We miss
Free
you.
Queen J.
Shout out to Alondra. Yes, everybody that couldn't be here today. I wish they were here, but it's cool. You know, we're going to hold it down for the people.
That's how we gonna do it.
That's how we're going to do it.
We have to.
We absolutely have to. And we have somebody in the room tonight.
Hey, everybody.
Let them know who you are.
My name's Rosemary. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. Excited.
Now, when you hear Rosemary, doesn't it make you think of a fragrance?
A fragrance?
I am
or like
stealing
Hell yeah.
that.
fragrance or
that
like
is
spices
yes.
or something. I'm like,
Patent that.
True.
That's it. That's it.
No.
Rosemary.
It just sounds like a really amazing, like one of the fragrances that'll just catch you and
And follow me.
Yeah, like,
then we need to. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that. Because if
I
that,
got you.
spray that everywhere.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So what have you guys been up to? I've been gone for
we've been missing you. What you mean? What have we been up to?
4 months. It's only been 4
It
months.
felt like
4 months.
about.
damn long.
It felt like a whole pregnancy. You know,
Oh my God.
that's what it
Oh,
felt
yeah?
like. Yeah.
So
4
9 months.
It felt like 9.
It felt like 9. Okay.
Wait, when did you leave?
She said 4 months ago.
June.
June.
Mid-June.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it's been
Yeah, right? It's been
Yeah,
4
you
months.
ain't see me with all of this last time.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah. Just switching
No
it
more
up.
Marine Corps.
Civilian Terrence.
That's it.
Congratulations
Next
again.
thing you'll know, you'll have a
Such a
top
dirty
belly.
Shifting.
And
Okay, dirty guy. All right.
The beard is soft though.
It works though. I mean, you're on the
At least your
perfect
stuff
show to be a
connects,
dirty
bro.
guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have. I can just give you a solid goatee, and that's all I got.
it's
That's
a start.
it.
It's a start. It's a start.
That's it.
But absolutely, I missed you guys a lot. You know, I've been having a great time.
We've seen. I've noticed.
What have you seen?
I'm sure. I'm sure they've been observing as well.
Yeah, I'm sure some people have been. You know, shout out to everybody on live right now. I see y'all.
Word.
Absolutely tuning in. You know, it's been a while since I've been actually here in the physical. I know I've tuned in a couple times, like via, you know, Facebook Live or whatever. You know what I mean? So that was cool too, to be able to do that. So it's
On
nice.
days when it was needed too.
Basically.
So thanks for the save.
Yeah.
Oh.
I do remember that. We were having a rough time, and you came in and said everything I
Yo.
said, but better, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Jen's right," and I was like, I was just trying to make a point, but I guess I'm not that guy for it. So you know, thanks, Jen. You're the best.
No, appreciate you. No, I've been you know, hopping around traveling. You know, went to Cabo, Hawaii, and then Cabo, and then Africa, and then back
Yo,
to Japan.
tell me about that.
Nice.
Because when you told me you were in Africa, I'm like, I bet that was the shit. I bet that was nice.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I had such a good time. My expectations for like going there and like going to Johannesburg, I didn't know. I mean, I knew I was going to be in the city, but I didn't know what was going to happen when I got there.
Right.
You know, what kind of, I don't know, what was I going to get into? You know, I'm just kind of one of those like, let me just figure it out when I get there. And I met some great people, and I made some really good connections, networked, and
As
so
usual.
I have connections
usual.
there now. So it's really great. So now I have
Freaking
Johannesburg on,
Jen's her,
you know.
her own mafia, man. She's
Yo, I was just.
universal, dude.
Oh, I love y'all, man. I really do.
Fucking godmother over here.
And then, you know, Vegas is cool too. Vegas has been very interesting. Definitely Sin City, you know. I'm learning that. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do.
I'm bringing back flashback memories right now.
That's on a list of bases that I can potentially go to. So, you know,
Do
I'm
it.
just.
Oh.
Do
I'm
it.
just
Oh yeah,
thinking.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
No,
know,
you know the reason why I like Vegas, to be completely honest, is that you don't have to get into the shenanigans. You don't.
Yeah,
but
you
if you want to, there's something going on all day,
All
at all
day,
times.
It's all day and it's
365.
something for everyone. Like,
Yes.
There's
Yes.
something for everyone.
Yes.
Literally. Like,
Children, families, singles, whatever, you know, fun stuff, swingers clubs.
I like how you bring that up.
No, I
That's a
was
smooth
curious.
entry. I like it.
I've never swingers club, and I was always curious, you know what I mean? Because I was like, what is that? It's like a whole
So,
world I don't know about.
Was it like, so you visited like more like a Pandora's box type deal where
what
like
do you mean? What's
each...
that?
Yeah, I'm a little.
Oh, whoa,
Yo,
I don't
you
know
know-
the terminology.
Okay, bet, so I just put my experience
Yes, you
out
did.
there.
All right.
You know the
Oh.
lingo?
Let's open that Pandora's
let's
box.
open up Pandora's
What-
box.
what's in there?
Box.
I wanna
Let's
know.
open the
Yes,
box.
Please. Do
Please
tell.
explain.
So Pandora's box type places are like, you have, it's pretty much a house, and each room, depending upon how big the house is, has different themes. As slightly as I could put it. It's
It
a
is
lot.
like
interesting.
it is like Pandora's box then.
Exactly.
Then it is
All right.
because
you got stuff for the singles, you got stuff for the married folks, and then it kind of deepens the categories in there. And
okay.
In one
Your eyes
location.
big.
This
One
is
location.
all in one location.
Well, so I could talk about the place I went to. The place is called Green Door.
Before you start, what made you? How did you get to going? That's what I want to know. The backstory.
I do want to know.
You
the
don't just
lead
say,
up.
"Hey, I want to
wanna
go to
know
a
the
swingers
lead up.
club today." You know?
Oh yeah, okay, backstory. Okay, so
Just a
I'm in
little bit.
Vegas hanging out, and it was just conversations people had, because I think after I was in that relationship with a guy and he was like, "I want to watch you have sex with another guy," it started to make me like this. There's a whole world of like things that I just wasn't, you know what I mean, like privy to.
Right.
And then when you did, you started seeing, you're like, oh, this is like a whole culture that I don't know anything about. And I think it's that unknown factor it was the curiosity of like, I don't know about this. I want to know about it. So when I got to Vegas, you talk to a lot of people, just conversation. I've talked to a lot of strippers, and you know what I mean, and people that are like, you know, openly just having like, you know,
Fun.
you know, all types of. Well, no, I'm saying I'm around it all the time.
Yeah.
The parties we throw, and you know, people were kind of like open, sexually free and stuff, and I was having a conversation with one guy, and he was telling me how he went to this place, you know, that was a swingers club, and I was like, oh, I want to go to a place like that, you know, I want to check it out, you know what I mean? And so he was telling me about this place, and he's like, yeah, I went to this place, but it was like for the older, like kind of like 50, 60 and up, you know what I mean? Like that kind of, and then
They exist. They
and
exist.
then, you know, it was more that was the
They're not
average
unicorns.
age in that place. And then but he was like, he wanted to come to this place because this place was a little bit more like maybe younger. He heard. He didn't know. He'd never been. So one night, we were all out, and I remember I just looked at everybody. I was like, yo, let's go to Green. And everybody was like,
It was a group thing,
we
like a group event, a
a
field
group,
trip.
yeah, we did. We went as a group.
Field trip.
And we went as a group. It was like,
Hell yeah.
it was like 3 guys and like 6 women, 7 women. We all, because we all wanted to go.
awesome.
We were
What do you-
partying
what-
all
all
night.
right, all right. I know I'm cutting your story short,
okay.
but how do you prepare for that? Do you grab a box of condoms and
No,
you know,
no,
you
no,
know, like,
hold
do you-
on. That
do you-
wasn't. You're going too far ahead. You're too far ahead.
I'm thinking, what do you?
The condoms,
This
are kind of
completely,
already. The condoms
this
are kinda
completely
already
was
there
just like,
at the-
yeah, they're already.
they're already
It's
there.
a place where you do this already, so they've got supplies.
All right.
But the point is, it was just one of those like, hey, we left the club. Green Door's still open. Why not go over there? But when we walked over there, they're like, oh, it's $24 for women and $85 for men.
I was about to ask you about the prices.
Yes. So we were like, the guys were all looked at us like, hell no.
Unless you have a membership.
I'm not paying.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not paying
There's a
$85. To get into this place.
And for how long? Like, do you get to
Is
all
it-
day.
venture
Doesn't
in
matter.
every room if
yeah,
you want?
The point of that story was we didn't go in that night. So a couple days later, I was with a girl, you know what I'm saying, a friend of mine, and we were hanging out. We were out, and then I was like, it was Tuesday night, and I was like, yo, I'm going to Green Door. It's free for ladies on Tuesday night, ladies' night on Tuesdays. So I was like, yo, let's go. So she was like, all right, cool. We go in there. She's been there before, and that was, she had been there before, and I walked in and it was interesting.
She sighed too. She took a pause and she sighed. Where'd you go in that memory?
I walked in and it was just like no. I walked in. It was a slow night. But when we did go in there, it was enough to.
What is a slow night?
There was nobody really in there. There was like 7 couples all together.
I was expecting you to walk in and there's
when you
like,
first
lights.
walk in, no. When you first walk in, literally it was just pool tables, a lounge area. So if you want to just hang out,
Music playing?
and a bar.
Light music?
There was music in the background, and then there's different sections. So there's a couples area with like beds and like mats and like and like cubicle spaces for you to have sex in. And then when you go upstairs, there's like a lounge area, and there's like it's called the sextagon. So it's like there's cameras pointed at it, and people you can like fuck around like in front of everybody. They don't sell alcohol there because there's nudity, so they actually sell juice. It's a juice bar. So they don't have,
most places they're not going to serve alcohol just because of the whole
consent and all that
consent.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we
think
just
about
went to
that.
we just kind of ventured around. They had a jacuzzi area, which kind of they had a area for people to watch you pee and use the restroom. They had showers that had glass doors. You can watch
all
them
the
shower.
fetishes. Wow.
Dungeon where they had the little the
Yeah.
X
Did they
to
have
be
the
tied
kitchens?
on.
Like
They didn't have-
the big kitchens where you can do that theme, that whole little
They don't.
thing?
They didn't have the kitchen. It was like it was in a house. It was an actual legitimate like building, club building.
okay.
It wasn't a house. There the other couple places I think they said there were those were houses, but this place isn't. So they just kind of had like different rooms you can kind of go into and tuck away. Some of them couples only. You can only go in there with couples or girls only. They don't allow 2 men to go in. Because a lot of the guys that come in there are, they just want to watch and I walked into one room and my first experience of the whole situation, I walk in and this guy's sitting in the corner, like in the dark because it was like the voyeur area, and all you see is a gray sweater and just from like as I'm walking in, and I'm like, oh, she was like, yo, he's jacking off. You see him over there? And he was just had this whole like slouch thing. And I just walk and we walk in and I'm just like, oh, he's jacking off. Yep, he's in there. And then the night got a little bit more interesting because then they were.
Oh, so you didn't stay?
They were fucking. No, I stayed for a while. I kind of went to every room and watched everybody have sex.
Did you make eye contact?
I
with them
watched
and just
everyone.
watch?
Yes, I made eye contact. They look at you, and I'm just like, oh, sorry.
That's
People
poetic study.
people go into the booths, and they're all up in their space, and I'm like, man, I'd be like, yo, back, let me get some room. But that's how it is. Like everybody's just, and the guys just walk around. They're just jacking off, like watching people have sex. Like right in front of me, a guy's jacking off, and then he's watching a couple, like this guy completely tearing up this girl. You know what I'm saying? Like. It's crazy. It's just it's crazy because it's
Yo,
it's
I'm
so,
trying to wrap my head around it.
It's almost like the reason why I liked it was because it was so free.
Right.
Imagine being able to go in there and like I'm kind of like the foreigner in this situation. I don't know anything about it. So I'm just asking random guys like, "Hey, so what is the premise? Like, how do you feel about this?" But I think what happened was the guys were so willing to talk to me because they were like, "So are you interested?" One guy walked up to me. This is like my best memory of the guy. He's like, "Can I touch?" And he does this figure 8 with his finger. I'm like, I think I'm good. And he was probably like 65, 70. I mean, he was yeah. And I was like, it's cool, Grandpa.
All right, so is there a form? Is there a confidentiality agreement?
No.
Or
when you walk in, you're consenting. Once you walk in,
once you pay.
No cameras, you know.
The contract.
You have to ask. You know, you ask permission before you. There are guidelines, but see, I didn't know these guidelines.
Are they unwritten guidelines?
They'll explain them to you if you want. Because when we first walked in, there was a couple in there kind of getting a little bit of like the lowdown of like, okay, we have this many couples, and this is the situation, and there's tissue boxes at every chair. There's chairs by every bed. There's like corners like for every. You could just fuck anywhere.
Wow.
You know, it's up to you what you want to do, and they kind of followed us around a little bit, and you know, and I was like, we're not gonna no guys, no, and they just jacking off everywhere. It's good times. I watch a couple fully like have. I just sat there. We just sat there, and so I'm like, man, this is kind of fascinating. It was fascinating because it's okay. It's accepted. It's a completely different from somebody who hasn't been in that kind of world on the outside. So you can easily judge it and say, "Oh my God, these people! Oh my God, like what is going on?" It's easy, but you know, I had to like take a step back and say, "This is their world, right? This is a different culture. This is a different culture." So for me, I feel like I'm like a foreigner. So I go into it like just like I'm going to another country. I'm like, I wonder what to expect, and I go in there and I'm like, this is actually really nice that everybody's just open about sexuality. People walk around naked. Like, it's just so freeing. You can just be who you want to be. And I think that's the part of it that I really liked.
I think one of the best things about those places is, like, you know, like going into places like that and you see the individuals, and then it's like 2 days later you go to work or you go
their business suits
and you see them around.
Go to Starbucks and you see, you're serving my latte. Oh my God.
Wow.
Put my head down.
It's like, what do you say?
Well, there's an unwritten thing. You're not supposed to talk. It's about confidentiality. It's all about, you know, anonymity. And even if you see somebody, you're not supposed to, you almost get like shunned. The whole point of it, you're not supposed to talk about it. Yeah. And I mean, I'm talking about it because I think it's interesting, but I mean, I don't know people's
like
names.
A
and
very, very open cult in a way.
It's a cult.
And this guy, the guy I was talking
not
to, the
negatively,
you know
what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like this is what we do here,
yeah,
and we don't speak of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of different places like that all around. I mean,
absolutely.
You'd be surprised where you find them.
Yeah, they have them here in Japan too.
I bet.
Yeah, because a friend of mine was telling me in Tokyo, he went to a place. He's like, yeah, I was fucking everything in there. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's great. You have fun? He was like, oh, I had a great time. He was like, being a black guy walking in, he was like, we were celebrities until the next set of black guys walked in.
So
football players, 5 minutes later, basketball players.
So what advice would you give to a person, male or female, who is interested in going to a swingers club with their significant other?
I would say go in first as like a research, like a reconnaissance. Like,
do
I
you
think that's
that they
important.
Have to give them the heads up that they're gonna go visit.
I'm going to be honest with you. Before I walked in there, mind you, I live in Vegas, so smoking is legal. I smoked a blunt, and I also took a shot and drank it because when we pulled up.
What was the prep for? Like, why?
Because I was nervous, because I didn't know what to expect. So I was like,
let me loosen up.
Yeah, let me loosen up, because I was. I think when we pulled up, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Now I'm like, am I ready for this?
Yeah.
Because I said, once I walk in there, I'm not going to be able to unsee any of this.
That's right.
So that was my biggest thing. That's let me take a shot. Let me just get my nerves down a little bit. And then when we walked in, I was just more at ease. You know what I mean? And then it was just easier for me to walk in there and be like, oh, the guys like that work there are like watching Netflix in the corner. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just at work. It's another day. You know, you become kind of like desensitized. And like,
I'm cracking up.
See you later, Michelle. Have a good one. Gotta get back to my show.
Really? I was like, this is a great job. You're just hanging out over here in the corner. I was like more interviewing people than I was like, how is this for you? Like, because I was so fascinated.
I'm fascinated just listening.
Mm-hmm.
Because it can go so many different ways. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work at, the Green Door. Yeah. And then everybody's like, oh, the Green Door. What is that? And then
restaurant?
Like,
Sharing restaurant.
It's the Green Door.
What do you do? It's just
a community.
It's like it's a live porno. With the channels all in the same vicinity.
Live porn. And they have different webcam areas to do recordings. Like, It was just really fascinating. They said the weekends are better because some of the industry, like women that are in industry, will come in and do shows. You know what I'm saying? Like they're, you know, they do full on things. Like they'll get some stuff popping and that's. I was like, I want to come back on Saturday. I'm missing all the good stuff. I want to see like a whole full blown dungeon scene, like, you know, BDSM. Like I want to see all of it. Like I'm just so curious and fascinated by things that I don't know about. So I'm all about just seeing it for myself and, you know. And then I sat there and I asked myself, could I like participate, you know, or like have, and I was like, yeah, I could.
That's the question. Like you go back, would you
I
participate?
could. Yeah. I could. Absolutely.
So what would be like your theme room to go to?
Shit.
And would it be different if you were going by yourself or with your partner?
It would be different. It would be way different because I think if I went by myself, I'd be more free to like really to just not worry about how are they going to feel about what I'm about to do. Right. If I went by myself, I feel like I'd be a little bit more open to like try things or whatever, but I think I would go there alone first before I would be in a situation just to see how I felt about it.
Would you have like rules with your partner? Like, okay, you can see, but you can't touch.
Yeah, what would
like,
your rules be?
If I was with a partner, like bringing somebody with me for this situation,
guidelines?
my guidelines.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think I'm pretty like open for things, so I would be very open. You know what I mean? So
you kind of contradict yourself, right? You're going to the green
I know. I'm pretty open,
rules,
so there's
into an environment where there are no rules.
Isn't. I feel like the only way for you to really fully like go into a situation like that, you have to be completely just open to just experience it. Because if you go in there with any kind of preconceived, just any limitations, you're just not going to appreciate it for what it is. And I know that sounds crazy, but I looked at it from a standpoint of all these people that are in here are sexually free. Like they're just like dicks slanging, you know, everywhere. Just, you know what I mean? I'm me judging them, you know what I'm saying? I'm the one, look, I came into their place. Right. You know what I mean? Like you know, so it's kind of like one of those things like I'm the oddball in this situation because I don't know nothing about what's happening. Like, you know, and so it's just, I was like, man, these guys are really nice. And I had to think about it like that. They're nice.
You got to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Oh, that came out.
Yeah, no, but that's true.
That's a good transition.
That is exactly where we're going with this because I think it's very important for vulnerability. You know, within relationships and things like that, you have to let down a lot of things. You know what I'm saying, to be able to really truly experience. You know,
hence why some people do the prep. Right?
Absolutely.
That's part of the reason why they're doing the prep is because they want to release some of that prejudgment and allow themselves to be open and vulnerable to what they're going to experience.
Right.
What is it to be vulnerable though? Like how do you define what's vulnerable in like when you're in a relationship with your significant other, whether it be like your wife or your girlfriend or husband, boyfriend, whatever. Like,
let's kick it to Rosemary.
Me? Oh God.
Yeah, because I know you weren't ready.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I want to know what you think.
God, I don't know. I think the definition of vulnerability is very personal, individualistic. For me, vulnerability means, despite feeling naked, still moving forward. So like coming here tonight, I have no idea
what to expect.
Yeah, not at all. I still don't know what to expect. Right. So I really appreciate you guys giving me this, last minute invitation.
Green door.
Yes, right.
Yeah. And then welcome to the green door.
Talking about conversations that are super mega interesting, and even in talking about this conversation, right, is you're letting your hair down, and we're talking about sexuality and relationships and all that. Vulnerability is being able to have those conversations with, first of all, releasing your own fear of self-judgment.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
Allowing yourself not to judge and move past it.
Right
that is. Absolutely. I agree.
The biggest one.
I agree.
That's very well put.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can pay me later.
The only way that I would say or define being vulnerable in a relationship is doing what you're scared to do. So, Same.
Getting past it, right? So getting past the feeling and the conversations that we have about certain things. So when you're talking about, wow, in this space, those people are so free, regardless of other people's judgment, and then they go out next door and serve your Starbucks. right?
Yo, you
Yeah.
gotta respect that.
That's
That's
I
boss.
like literally. I love meeting people who do not judge others, and at the same time don't worry about what others judge upon them.
Right,
Like,
and
that's to me like setting that. You know, that's
That's
a bold
eternal.
statement. I'm
That-
for
That
it.
is
Don't
eternal.
give- I don't give any two fucks
Yeah.
about it. Like,
For sure.
You know, I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like after I got out of the marriage, and then it really opened me up as a person, because now I wasn't living, you know what I mean, necessarily for someone else to like, or, you know, for us. And I have the opportunity to like, what do I want to do, and who do I want to be, and where do I want to go? And it changed the conversation within myself. And with that, it really opened myself up to being like, yeah, I'm going to Green Door. Like I'm sure some people are like, whisper it, and they, you know, and I'm like, I don't care, because at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, I'm like, it doesn't take away who I am as a person.
Exactly.
I'm still a good person.
And just
you know what I mean?
adds to your repertoire of
you know.
experiences. You know?
Just the depth
adds-
of,
it
you know.
adds- yeah, it just adds to you as a person. It doesn't
Absolutely.
necessarily make you who you are. It's just an additive. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm not afraid to like have the conversation. I think that's really important. Like you say, when it comes to like if I can look myself in the mirror and say like, I'm good, you know what I mean? Like, we're good here, like keep it moving. That's the important part, because we are our worst,
Absolutely.
you know,
And
critics.
it's not a vulnerability where your sense of freedom of self is you're impinging that on someone else. You know, it's not a hurt to someone else.
Right.
It's your own experience of vulnerability and your ability to get past the things that we were raised in shame with, right? It's a very hot topic right now. Vulnerability is a very hot topic right now. Brene Brown, she's an excellent author and researcher, and she has a book out right now that speaks to the power of vulnerability and why we hold back so much, simply because, you know, at the foundation of the reason we hold back is we're ashamed. You know, so why not say, yeah, I was at the Green Door last night, because the rest of society judges that and says, you know, you're nasty.
Yeah.
You're dirty. You're a dirty girl.
You're right.
Speaking
You know.
of society, I'm glad you bring that up, because when I listen to this and we're on the subject of vulnerability, I think that it's very easy and common. I wouldn't say easy. I'll say it's very common for women to be more vulnerable than men are, because of the way we are brought up. You know, vulnerability is a sign of weakness in most men. So,
And I think you're on the money, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people identify vulnerability as weakness. And in the book, she defines it according to the dictionary. And there's a really significant difference between the two words. I agree with her. I think vulnerability, and when it comes to the definition, we say, oh, you know, you must be a pussy. You must be,
Yeah.
you know,
100%.
weak, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're weak because you're not being vulnerable,
Yeah.
right? And so where does the power lie?
we are taught not to be
And you
vulnerable.
are.
as
Don't
men.
cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you crying? Man up. Why are you crying?
Crying is
Don't
being
cry.
vulnerable.
And it's weird because when you look at, you know, psychologically speaking, it's when you show those emotions, that's when you have like true strength, because
Yes.
you're able to show that emotion.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot more strength to cry than actually hold it back.
And
It's-
where
you're
does
allowing yourself to be free with that? So
You're-
it's kind of weird that you get that contradiction in there.
Yes, and where, I mean, think about the moments when you've had the greatest sense of creativity. You as a poet, right? Where does that come from? To be able to write, to be able to do art, to create, to be creative, to say, oh, you know what? I think we should start a radio show. It comes from a space, right? And in between that feeling of shame and in between that feeling of saying, you know what, I'm whole regardless of what people say. In the middle of that is that space of creativity. And it comes from that space of being open and pummeling through the feeling of, you know what, I was raised that I should be ashamed of my body.
Yeah.
But you know what, I'm gonna create anyway. You know, I'm gonna create this experience anyway, and wear a bikini and wear a bathing suit and go out and be beautiful and be sexy, regardless. You know, so it's incredibly powerful, and it's I think the root of a lot of what we're seeing right now in our society. The fact that we are not allowed.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. I absolutely agree that, you know, it's like I said, you know, you see, I was saying that even just like I feel bad for people that grew up living off of social media and like, oh, I don't have as many likes and I don't, and they're being defined by, and I'm like, I'm so glad that social media for me was just like something that came along, like, oh, this is nice. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we can keep in contact with friends.
Right.
I can do business online all the time. I don't have to, you know, and it that's how I see it. Whereas people literally live their entire existence as to, okay, how many likes did this picture get? Okay, how many, you know, and it
and the
comparisons going younger and younger. And younger. I was watching what was the name of the show? It's called Warriors of Liberty City, and it's based on the youth and their upbringing in Liberty City in Florida, and it's through like football and so on and so forth. And one of the girls, she's a cheerleader. She's like, I think she was like maybe 14 or 15, and she has like 8,000 followers and stuff on Instagram, and literally that's like how she lives her life, is constantly putting up posts, doing this and doing that, and so on and so forth. And it's like, oh my gosh,
becomes
like,
a job.
I understand if you're making money from it, but there's some people that's not the case. It really is about themselves. It's like, I put all my business and I put all my problems and I, you know, and then people don't like it. They're not paying attention. You know what I mean? And it just, and it's sad because, you know, I used to work with kids and seeing like how that really affects them. You know, I'm just thankful for myself that I grew up in an age where it wasn't there. So I didn't have to like, you know, constant like, you know, that just scrutiny and like, you know, to look a certain way, to be a certain way. I already had to deal with bullies in front of me. Now I got to deal with them online too, you know, like, basically. Gosh, it's just the world.
Now it's like, oh wait, you're not as pretty as the picture that you filtered. Like you don't even know what people really look like anymore because the cameras are telling you already you're not pretty. So let me alter your picture for you.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
They don't even use an altered picture. They just take someone else's picture that they control.
Indeed.
Apply it to their own page.
I know. And it just creates, I mean, absolutely. We created, you know, things to be a little bit more transparent, but I feel like what it has is just put a filter on everybody. So we don't really see the truth.
And then it becomes more and more difficult to engage in authenticity, right? So vulnerability and authenticity go hand in hand. And when you are in a state of vulnerability, that is your true self.
Absolutely.
You know, that is as true as you're going to get. And all these other things, all these other distractions don't allow for that. And then what happens when you are being your true self? People still judge you, right? Because they don't know who that is.
Either way.
Exactly.
Either way, you're gonna get judged.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure people. You know, and that's the thing.
So I say, just risk it. Just risk it. Just be yourself and risk it.
And that's how it is. I look at it like, yeah, you can watch me on social media and you can see the things you see online. You can judge me all you want to. You don't know me, it's fine. You know, I show you what I want you to see because that's what I put online. You know, I show you where I am, where I want to go, you know what I mean? But you don't know who I am inside unless you have had a conversation with me.
Exactly.
Engagement.
You know, right. And I think that's really important because for me, it's really important to be as authentic as possible. That is like to be my true self, to be exactly who I am, no matter what society says, like the things that I want in life. And that's why I made the move 4 months ago. That's why I left and did what I did, because I was like, I knew that my life wasn't 9 to 5, you know, sitting in an office, you know, helping people, you know, plan parties for military functions. And, you know, that was a good experience. You were good at it, though. I know. Yeah.
I miss seeing you during lunchtime. So, you know.
No, it was a good job. Like, I'm so glad for the experience because I learned so much from that, the catering side of things. I didn't, you know, like, I'm all about knowledge and learning new things and trying new things. But when I made the decision to leave, and that was the decision I had to make because I was like, man, I am doing pretty good. And I got the radios good. I got Lyrical Lounge. And people are like, why are you leaving now? I said, because if I don't go now, I'll never go.
I think that was the same thing I had with the Marine Corps. Like, granted, with where I was at in my career, I was so high up, and granted, you know, I had my setback, and even the lawyer I was talking with, he was like, dude, the case is easy, like, you can beat this, so on and so forth. I'm like, you know what, I don't know if I want to continue and just give that much more of my personal life to a professional side that I know I'm not going to really benefit from anymore. So
it's not really like, what you want.
It's like, it was good, I love wearing a uniform, it was awesome, but I gotta go back and be me some more. Like I just missed it. Like,
Right.
When you get so involved in another aspect of yourself that's not necessarily authentic, it can take a toll on you big time. So
It does.
Yeah.
You block. I feel like you block the opportunities and the things that you could be doing.
Right.
Like if I was still sitting in the office having to work and do festivals and all that stuff, I wouldn't have been able to go to Africa. I was there for 3 weeks. You know, I wouldn't have went to Mexico, and I wouldn't have had the experiences in Vegas, and I wouldn't have been able to do any of that or meet the people I've met.
You wouldn't have went to the Green Door.
Exactly.
Wouldn't have went to the Green Door. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, I was like, I mean, it was funny after going to the Green Door and having conversations. Like, it just, at the end of the day, it opened up so many things for myself because I realized I was blocking all of my opportunities because I was doing something that really wasn't for me. That's fine. I can do that. I can be in that space and I can play the part, but that's not who I want to be. That's not my goal. You know, I'm like, no, I can figure it out. I just want to be out there in the world. I want to go to the States. I want to put myself out there as an artist, and then potentially, you know, just build from that, and then just network and create, and that's where I'm happy at. I want to create, and I want freedom to do that. And working for the military doesn't give you that freedom.
Right.
Right.
In pursuit of your
I mean,
happiness, right?
hey,
You're in pursuit
shout
of your
out to
happiness.
those that is
Yeah,
your calling.
absolutely.
Shout out to
Some
those
people,
that's
hey,
their
listen,
calling.
absolutely. My dad did it for 34 years.
Same.
You know what I mean?
Holy hell.
And 10 years now as a GS, you know what I'm saying? So 44 years of his life has been, you know, he's been doing that. And that's good for him. But for me, I'm just a butterfly. And I fly.
I think what I can appreciate is that today in today's age, we have that choice,
Yes.
right? In today's age, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you just didn't have, you wouldn't even begin to think this way. And so for those who do like that kind of grind, it's there. The opportunity is there. For those who want to experience it and then realize, yeah, no, this is not for me. I'm not driven by cash
That's
flow.
cool too.
Right.
Right.
That's okay too.
Right.
And for those who, you know, I have a very, very good friend, went to visit Thailand, came back and said, I'm moving to Thailand.
Right.
Has been traveling the world since. So there's a space for everyone. And I think that the drive has to be in pursuit of your happiness with your genuine self.
I love that movie.
And
Yeah.
yeah, oh, that's right. It is a movie. And you know, obviously we all have responsibilities, and some people that might be listening, oh yeah, it would be great to just hop on a plane and go to Africa or quit my job. I can't do that. And that's great. Yes, you're right. You may not. However, even in the midst of that, you can find happiness, and you can you can bring into your space that desire that you want. You may not be able to go see a giraffe in Africa, but maybe in Taiwan for 3 days. And it's not the same experience, but the ability to create out of that, right?
I think even with that though, like people still have that mindset. You're going to continually be trapped in your own mindset and in your own comfort zone when you're in the state of mind of saying I can't.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm
Very
able to.
much
Like,
so.
You can. You're just choosing not to. Like,
I'm like striking out the word try in my vocabulary because I hate saying like I'll try I'm trying to get to Africa. No, I'm gonna go to Africa in August.
I don't know how.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna go.
And that's what I said.
That's right. That's
and
how you do it.
Exactly what I said. And I went to Africa in August. It wasn't where I initially thought I was gonna go, but it's okay because I was in Africa and that's what happened.
It's funny that you say
know?
that because I think of when people say I'll try, it's a way to push it back,
Right.
you know, or make an
Put it on the
excuse.
back
Yeah.
burner.
Is what it sounds
It made
like.
me feel. It made me feel like
yeah,
that. It got to a
I'll do it
point where
later.
it made
I'll
me
try.
feel like it. So I was like in certain situations, like you know, even like me being here, people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna see you," and I genuinely like, I'll try because I only have such a short time here. But in a situation where I'm saying I'm gonna go somewhere, it changes. The conversation changes. It's like, no, I'm going here this time. Don't know how yet. I'm gonna figure it out. I'll work. It's worked so for me. All of 2018.
That's just everyone's mentality. It's just this individual mentality. Like if you've had that mentality of you've been on your hustle, you've been on your grind, you do what it takes to get what you need, then it becomes a lot easier. But for those that have kind of been like sheltered and it's been given to them, or they've not really known what going through a rough patch
Fear.
is like,
Yeah,
that fear is
that
there.
fear,
So it's like,
absolutely.
I don't know. Of course not. Yeah.
Like you don't. What are you gonna do?
I have
What are you
a
gonna do
mantra.
there?
I have a mantra. So I was sharing with my friend's daughters after I got your message. Hey, we're gonna meet at. I was saying, wow, a couple of months ago, I said, I want to go on a radio. I was talking with another friend that just PCS'd, and I was like, I want to go on the radio. We have to figure out how to go on the radio. That was a few months ago. And I said, I get to experience being on the radio. And I get to experience meeting Oprah. And I get to experience, and that's my mantra. I get to experience this. If I look at things from that perspective, then it opens me up to any possible opportunity, right? And I don't even know how we got onto the conversation of doing this last night, but
I don't remember it, but
but boom, I put it out into the world, and things align for you.
Absolutely.
So when you're really, really clear about what you want to experience, I want to go to Africa. I get to go to Africa. Doesn't have to look any specific way. The opportunity happens. It does. Just, I have evidence in my life throughout the course of my life of that. Boom, right here, right now. A few months ago, I said, I want to know what that's like. I get to experience having a conversation about sex, love, and relationships, and boom, right here. Of course, I was saying we were going to do it in Spanish, but this is just as good.
I mean that's the thing. I think like for me, learning how to stop stopping myself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just allow allow it to allow it to just go, like believe it. Like why can't I make this happen? Exactly. Or why can't this, be something? It can be all, I can do all of it. I said I'm going to move to Vegas. I said I'm going to do a show in Vegas. You know what I mean? And now I'm going to get paid for a show in Vegas. I've done all these things. I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna go to Africa in August. I'm gonna do all these. I'm gonna be there for the 2nd anniversary of Lyrical Lounge, which I was here for. I didn't know how I was gonna get here. There was a typhoon when I initially had planned to come, and I was like, let's push it back and see what happens. And it worked out. So I'm like, you're right. In my life as well, I've had evidence of like everything that's happening is because of what I accept it to be truth.
Yes. Yes.
What I accept, this is truth. I'm going to make this happen. This is going to happen. And I believe it. And this is going to, and I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen.
And that is vulnerability. Right. To be able to say, I get to have this happen in my life, regardless of what others think and regardless of what others may say about me and how they may approach me and say, oh, you're so irresponsible, or wow, you're quitting such a good job. How dare you? So many people want a good job in life, and you have it, and you're just going to squander it away. We are our worst enemies, and sometimes our surroundings as well.
Absolutely.
So to be able to say, you know what? Yes. I have this little vision board at home, and in the center, it says yes. I get to choose yes to the things that I get to experience in my life. Bottom line. Absolutely. It's not always easy. I'm going to tell you, I was driving up here and I'm thinking like, what am I doing? Oh my God, why do I commit to things like this? Because my nerves were in my stomach. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. Right? It's shifting the internal conversation of,
absolutely.
Oh shit, what did I just agree to? I am not doing that. Oh my God, I don't feel well. To, wow, this is going to be so fucking awesome. Like, I want to do this. Yes.
And I must say that you're phenomenal.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very, very intrigued. I've been doing nothing but taking it all in. No.
I'm seriously taken back.
Terrence said he was going to bring a guest, and I was like, we've had guests before, and then they sound great off air, and then they get in here and they get shy, and you've been outstanding.
Honestly, what it was like, her authenticity showed last night when we were talking. Like, again, don't know how we got on the topic, but it showed. And I'm like, yeah, you should come. Yeah, they're gonna love you. Yes.
It's a vibe.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Thank
I think
you.
I'm kind of sad that I can't experience like more of it, you know what I mean, to have the conversation. It is, absolutely, because when you can have an open, honest conversation with a group of people and just say, like, let's just lay it all out on the table and discuss it, and then have and have people tune in and say, oh, I want to be a part of this conversation. Yeah. It's great. Look, we've got 2 minutes left on the clock.
Beautifully orchestrated by the wonderful Jen, who is back, So
Till Tuesday. Till Tuesday.
Thank you so much for having me.
I leave Tuesday and I go to Tokyo for 2 weeks, and then I'll go back to Vegas. I have a show in California on the 17th of November, and then someone just hit me up to book me for another thing.
Wow, how exciting!
When are you coming back?
Well, I might move to Tokyo for 3 months to do a little bit of soul searching. So that'll be soon, within the next 6 months, actually. So
You can't reveal too much.
yeah, I can't reveal too much. You know, I gotta like, y'all will see as it comes to
How
fruition in reality.
And just a quick question. All of this that's happening now is because you just decided one day, I'm going to quit.
Yes.
That's powerful.
That's it.
That
Yes.
is
And it was scary as
powerful.
hell.
It's
Of
taking a
course.
leap.
And that is
But I did it.
vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's scary
Weird, 'cause,
and
like,
it's
it's scary,
exciting.
but it's
It's
Because I had
exciting.
every
Yes,
there was
It's so
yes,
exciting.
there was
yes.
everything in my life was so good to
I
where
love
I
it.
could have stayed, and I kept seeing the numbers 8888, which means like
New beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something's gonna happen for you. This is what you're supposed to do, and I was like, I just gotta do it, because no matter what, it's gonna be a good thing.
Yes.
And
No
if-
matter what,
And if
it's
you
gonna
don't
be a
do
good
it, it's going to
thing.
bother you forever.
For the rest of
my
your
life.
life.
That whole
Forever.
what if.
Right.
I think
For
that's
the
what
rest of my
that's what
life.
got me. It was a whole like.
You're going to hate
I don't
yourself.
wanna
You're going to
live
have
with the what if.
resentment.
can't
I
live with
don't.
the what if.
Me
Yeah.
either.
can't live with the
I'm not
what ifs.
okay with it. I'm not okay with that at all. I will not accept that. Like, nope, gotta do it. Green door, let's go.
Everybody find.
way to bring
Everybody
that full
find
circle.
yourself a
Oh
green
my
door.
God. I'd be doing research.
Hashtag
tell me,
everybody
how
find
does that
yourself a
feel?
green door.
Everybody find yourself a green door to
Yes,
walk through.
yes.
That is actually really good if you
Love
think about
it.
it, you know?
Well,
In
y'all
life,
heard.
whatever that is.
That's right.
Y'all heard the moral of the story.
You go out there and
Be
get
vulnerable.
yourself a
Be
Yes,
vulnerable.
Be vulnerable.
Be authentic.
courageous.
And open
Be
the green
courageous.
door.
Open
Yes.
Figuratively speaking,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you guys here
Thank
in
you.
Okinawa. It has been great on the Heat 76.1. I'm so glad to be here with you guys. And, you know,
amazing.
I shall be back again.
Hell yes.
Thank you all for listening.
Be
Thank
safe.
you.
Wear your seatbelts. Don't drink and drive. Have a great weekend.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning into The Heat, Okinawa's love, sex, and relationship show. Check out our podcast, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat for new updates.
Who can it be?